On October 7th, 2025, U.S. Marshals arrived at Heavy D's shop in Utah, marking the beginning of what would become the most serious crisis in the history of the Diesel Brothers brand. Reports indicated that Dave Sparks found himself entangled in legal troubles that eventually grew into approximately $13 million in lawsuits, judgments, and penalties. Within just a few months, his wife filed for divorce, rumors spread about a growing distance between him and Diesel Dave, and the close partnership that fans had admired for years appeared to be falling apart. The rapid sequence of events raised a major question. How did two television personalities who built an empire around trucks and entertainment end up facing federal court battles, arrest, and personal turmoil in such a short period? The story began much more simply. Dave Sparks, later known as Heavy D, and Dave Kiley, known to fans as Diesel Dave, first met at a church singles event in Utah. What seemed like an ordinary social gathering unexpectedly became the starting point of a life-changing friendship. Sparks had already left Weber State University after one semester to pursue his passion for diesel engines and mechanical work. Kiley shared the same enthusiasm for trucks and performance vehicles. Their connection was immediate because they both viewed vehicles not merely as transportation, but as machines that could be modified, improved, and pushed to their limits. Soon after meeting, they opened a small diesel repair shop in Woods Cross, Utah. There were no major investors, television contracts, or celebrity ambitions at the time, just two friends working long hours repairing and building trucks. During those early years, they began recording their projects and uploading videos online. The content featured bold truck builds, extreme modifications, and entertaining stunts that quickly attracted attention. As their audience grew, their small garage operation transformed into a recognizable brand. Their success eventually caught the attention of the Discovery Channel, leading to the launch of Diesel Brothers in January 2016. What started as a local business soon reached millions of viewers across the country. Over the next 7 seasons, the show turned Heavy D and Diesel Dave into household names. Fans admired their creativity, their larger-than-life truck builds, and the natural chemistry between the two friends. To viewers, their success appeared effortless. However, behind the scenes, increasing popularity brought greater responsibilities, larger financial stakes, and growing pressure. The business had evolved far beyond a small garage operation, becoming a major enterprise with significant legal and financial exposure. The first major legal challenge arrived in 2017 when Utah Physicians for a Healthy Environment filed a lawsuit against Dave Sparks and his team. The organization argued that certain diesel truck modifications featured on the show violated the Clean Air Act by disabling emissions control systems. These modifications were associated with the practice known as rolling coal, where trucks are intentionally tuned to release large clouds of black exhaust. The plaintiffs viewed these actions not as harmless entertainment, but as deliberate pollution being promoted to a national audience. One of the most damaging aspects of the case was that footage from Diesel Brothers itself became evidence. Scenes showing modified trucks and emissions-related alterations were cited in support of claims that federal environmental regulations had been violated. In 2018, a federal court issued an injunction restricting further modifications that breached the Clean Air Act. However, legal disputes continued, and, according to court records, the operations connected to the show remained under scrutiny. The financial consequences steadily increased. By 2020, penalties included $761,451 paid to the federal government and an additional $90,000 paid to Davis County. In 2021, legal fees added another $928,602 payable to Utah Physicians for a Healthy Environment. During the appeals process, a court described the conduct as flagrant misconduct, unusually strong language for a regulatory dispute. Although the original lawsuit sought as much as $114 million, the final outcome still represented a significant financial and reputational blow to the Diesel Brothers brand. Another major legal battle emerged from an entirely different direction. This time, It involved trademark law rather than environmental regulations. Diesel SPA, the well-known Italian fashion company, challenged the Diesel Brothers merchandise business, Diesel Power Gear, arguing that the use of the word diesel infringed upon its established trademark rights. What began as a branding dispute eventually developed into a federal trademark case. By 2023, the court ruled against the Diesel Brothers business entities and awarded Diesel SPA $11.8 million in damages. Although the judge reduced the original requested amount of approximately $59 million, the judgment remained substantial. Combined with previous environmental penalties, legal expenses, and related costs, media reports estimated the total legal exposure at roughly $13 million. At that point, the situation no longer appeared to involve isolated legal disputes. Instead, it looked like a series of major legal challenges affecting multiple aspects of the business. The situation became even more serious in 2025. Heavy D announced what appeared to be a large-scale restructuring effort involving the sale of trucks, equipment, and other assets. While many fans initially viewed the move as a strategic business decision, some observers interpreted it as a response to mounting legal and financial pressure. During the process, a federal judge reportedly intervened and halted portions of the asset sale due to concerns regarding asset transfers during active enforcement proceedings. On October 7, 2025, U.S. Marshals arrested Dave Sparks for contempt of court. Reports connected the arrest to alleged noncompliance with financial obligations totaling approximately $843,602. The event marked a dramatic turning point. A public figure known for controlling massive machines and leading ambitious projects suddenly found himself under direct federal enforcement. Following the arrest, Diesel Dave largely disappeared from public collaboration with Heavy D, and the close public partnership that had defined the Diesel Brothers brand seemed to fade. Although some fans assumed the separation stemmed from personal conflict, the reality appeared more complicated. The original Diesel Brothers television series had already ended in 2023 when both men chose to leave Discovery Channel and focus on independent content creation. Nevertheless, the arrest and ongoing legal troubles intensified the distance between them and permanently altered the public image of the partnership. The next major development occurred on March 10, 2026, when Ashley Sparks filed for divorce. News reports published the following day highlighted the timing of the filing, which came after months of legal battles, financial strain, and public controversy. Within a relatively short period, Heavy D had experienced federal enforcement actions, mounting legal pressure, and the breakdown of his marriage. The events unfolded rapidly, creating the impression that multiple aspects of his personal and professional life were unraveling simultaneously. At the same time, Heavy D was attempting to move in a different direction professionally. In February 2024, he acquired rights connected to the canceled Nikola Badger project, a hydrogen electric pickup concept originally developed by Nikola Corporation. These rights later became part of EMB-BR Motors, a venture focused on hydrogen and electric vehicle technology. The shift represented a significant contrast to the diesel-focused image that had made him famous. A figure once associated with diesel performance and rolling coal was now promoting clean energy transportation solutions. Meanwhile, Diesel Dave continued operating within the diesel performance world that had originally fueled their success. Reports indicated that he remained active with projects such as the Brodozer, continuing to participate in events and maintain the diesel-centered identity that fans recognized. As a result, the paths of the two former partners increasingly diverged. One focused on rebuilding through new technologies and business ventures, while the other continued within the diesel culture that had defined their rise to fame. Looking back, the Diesel Brothers story became far more than a tale about trucks and television. It evolved into a complex narrative involving legal disputes, financial pressure, business transformation, and personal challenges. What began as a friendship between two mechanics in a small Utah garage ultimately grew into a national brand before facing a series of obstacles that reshaped its future. Whether Heavy D's transition into clean energy projects represents a true comeback or simply a new form of survival remains an open question, But the journey undeniably marks one of the most dramatic chapters in automotive entertainment history.